All right, YouTube. I wanted to give you guys a quick update on this Lenovo Chromebook Duet 5 and my experience so far within the first 24 hours of the device. Some good news, some bad news. And I also wanted to address a couple things that I know people were interested in, and I also failed to mention in the original video. One gripe, or I guess something that we didn't really care for on the original Duet, was the way that the keyboard slid around as the cover on the front of the device. Now, does this exist on this new and improved 13-inch Lenovo? It's yes and no. So what I mean by that is there's some slippage, but no droppage. So for example, there is some slight magnetic attachment here. And let me see, I'll open this up. And so there is some slight, I don't know if you guys can hear that, where it attaches a little bit because there's no droppage there, right? So if I'm holding it and trying to get this keyboard to drop down, it doesn't just drop down. You have to give it some force for it to come loose. But when you're holding it while it's covered, you do get some slippage there, some sliding around, right? And it doesn't seem to fully cover the front display by itself. You have to kind of force it over a little bit. So they could have done better with the magnets, I think. But I think the ultimate issue is this here, this gap that exists when you're using it as a normal Chromebook and not a tablet. And I know I mentioned before, I wish it had that magnetic attachment towards the bottom. It doesn't have that. So instead you get this rigid situation here where it's almost like a little loop, like for the gap there, and that prevents it from being very secure. However, it won't just drop off, but you still get that sliding around. So that's what I have to say about that. So, I mean, form your own conclusion. Is that something that you can deal with or not? Now, obviously, the screen is absolutely beautiful on this thing. On the original video, I showed you guys some issues I was having. I'm still having a lot of issues. So I don't know if it's because this device is so new and there's a software situation, but I'm still getting a lot of quirks that happen that are kind of frustrating. So for example, when attaching the keyboard, it doesn't always identify which mode you're going to be in, whether it's tablet mode or just a regular like Chromebook mode. So that's an annoyance. When I'm watching some videos, there appears to be like a white bar that'll come out of nowhere sometimes, like if I'm watching a YouTube video. Also, if or while the device is sitting idle, sometimes the screen will just go out and then it'll come back on. Or sometimes I can't wake the screen. There's other times where I use it in tablet mode and I'm trying to input my password to get in or my PIN to get in, and it doesn't recognize my inputs at all. Let me just try now. Let's see if it's back to normal because I just did a reset on it to get it back. Let's see. All right, so it recognized me with the touch input, but I shut the device off and turned it back on. And like I said in the other video, usually when you get a new Chromebook, after it installs all of your stuff, it will give you like a little notification to restart the device, or there's an update available or something to that effect. So I have to believe that there's going to be an update for this thing. I guess that's one of the downfalls when you're an early adopter or you're just impatient like myself and other people that are curious about these devices. We get them so early that all the kinks haven't been worked out. But I will say I've run into a lot of software bugs and issues with this device as opposed to others in the past. So that's that about that. As far as like the game, so I was finally able to load my game. You guys know I love the DH5 game. I was able to load that and play that on here. And I am happy that I can tell you guys there was no I didn't notice any like drop frames like I did on other devices. So that kind of leads me to believe that once this thing is fully functional with whatever updates they have to do, that second gen Snapdragon 7C or whatever is plenty capable. Because I know the other, I want to say it was the HP that I did last. That one did have some stutters and some issues when I ran that game. That game is not super intensive, but there are some graphics involved. So I use that to test out a lot of my different devices. And I will say, even on my older Android phone here, this is like a Galaxy S9, there were some hiccups with that game. It didn't play as smooth, and this has a Snapdragon 845, albeit it's a few years older. There were still some hiccups, drop frames I could see right away. When I did get it functioning properly on this tablet, I did not see those drop frame rates. So that's good news. So that 7C should run whatever applications you guys are currently running on your original Duet should work on here. The speakers are great on here. Let me take that back. They can't be great because what I consider great speakers are on the iPad Pro, on the Galaxy Tab S6. Those were some of the best speakers I've heard on such a small device. So the speakers are good on here. I'll say that much. They're much better than the two top firing speakers that were on the original Duet. So they took care of that issue. The screen itself is beautiful. Again, I still feel that this is too big to really use as a tablet, and it has to do with the screen ratio as well. So if you're your main use case is to have it as a tablet, I would say to stay away from this one. If your main use case is to use it as like a little workhorse, and just have it on your desk most of the time, then let's get rid of that. Then just have it on your desk all the time. Then you're fine. I think this will be a pretty good device for you once those updates are complete. So, in conclusion, what I will say is, if you own the original Duet and maybe you just wanted something a little bigger and you wanted that incredible OLED display and that would be your reason for upgrading, I would say wait until this thing goes on sale. And I don't want to put money on it, but I almost guarantee that it will be on sale for the holidays. I don't see this thing staying at $499 the entire time. I really firmly believe it will drop probably like a good $100. I can definitely see this thing at $399. So if you guys can wait a little bit, I would say wait. Don't buy it at this moment because, like I said, or maybe I could have a defective unit. But right now I feel like there's some updates that need to be had. And at that price point, with it not coming with the stylus, I would say wait until it goes on sale. Once they do the updates, I think this is a really good option. Unless you're just looking at something that you want to use as a tablet, then I would say there are better options out there, including the original Duet, which this holiday season will probably drop back down to $199. All right, so I just wanted to update you guys. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate your support. Please continue to support the channel to help us grow. And I guess I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.